If you want to start your journey of self-love and self-acceptance, but you aren't quite sure where to begin, well, you're in luck because Amy Schmidt is here with 5 easy strategies. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here. Let's dig into this. It's a great topic.
Let's do it, because we've got a lot to get through, and this is such a wonderful topic, like you said. So the first strategy is listen to your real desires.
And that's such a good one, because self-love is really accepting yourself at the core. And sometimes it's difficult to do that. So it's a good time now that we're in the fall here. We can kind of step into our power and really look what aligns with our mission, our life goals, and kind of start there. The first thing you can do around this is do a life audit. See who you're surrounding yourself with, where you're spending your time on social media. Make sure that that is all feeding you in a positive way.
That is such a big one. And another one is trusting yourself. I feel like it's so easy for us to trust others and put our faith in them, but when it comes to us, that's a lot easier said than done.
Trusting yourself, trust your gut, right? It's a statement, and it really is true. And this also goes along with not undervaluing what you've done in the past. We have a tendency to kind of go from one thing. We're busy, right? So we go from one thing to the next, and we really don't self-reflect on what we've accomplished. So take some time in these next weeks to really look at what you've accomplished. Look at your highlight reel. And that really tells you, hey, I did that 10 years ago, and that's pretty good. So don't undervalue your accomplishments.
And that's a great one that leads into our third tip. Failure does not exist. It's so easy for us to look at the highlight reel and then to get scared by failure, but you're saying that it doesn't exist at all. How do we do that? How do we channel that energy?
Yeah, and I think there's so much truth in that. And, you know, if we have kids going off to college, we're going to let them fail. We learn through failure. When I started my podcast, I forgot to push record for the audio file. I could have stopped right there and said, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I just failed. But you know what? You learn from that. Kobe Bryant said it best. He actually said, you know what? Failure is just part of the story, and the story continues. So look at failing or challenging yourself in new ways. And you know what? It's all part of the journey, and we learn from that.
Absolutely, we do. I think we actually learn more from our quote-unquote failures than we even do our successes. And
I agree.
This leads into changing the inner critic. How does that make a difference?
Yeah, an inner critic, and shift that to inner coach, because we're our worst critic, right? We really are. And this goes back to Muhammad Ali saying, I'm the greatest of all time. He said that before he even was, because he knew that if he didn't believe that, no one else would. So there's some real power in that. And that is, you know, creating some greatness statements for yourself, writing them down. Take a time in the morning to say, I am confident, I'm at peace, I am a great friend. You know, come up with some I am statements that you can step into that for the day. Shifts your mindset. And you know what? You are the greatest. And you have to believe it in yourself at your core.
Absolutely. True fact, I give myself a high five in the mirror every single morning. So it definitely helps.
I love that.
Just helps
That's
you feel a little
fabulous.
bit better. So we've only got about 30 seconds left. What is your last tip for us?
You know, I think the last one is really do more of what you want and not what others need. And so as we're starting into a school year, this is good for maybe parents of young kids. If you've always been that class mom or class dad, and this year you're thinking, you know what, I could do it, but it's just not aligning with my values right now, what my desires are, what we talked about earlier. You know what? And this is what somebody else really wants you to do. So evaluate that. Take on the things that you need in your life that are going to add value and really be at the core of what you want to do.
Amy, thank you so much for all these tips, and we can get more by following you. How can we find you?
At Fearlessly Facing 50, and 50 is spelled out .com. You can find me there.
Great. Thank you so much, Amy.